War is coming, and you're our only hope of stopping it.
You got the wrong people.
Okay, we're now halfway through the Mighty Nein series, and I'm going to make this video because I'm actually enjoying watching the show. And with all of that said, I think I should start off by saying that I'm not the biggest Critical Role fan. Yes, it's always been something that I've been aware of, but has never really been anything that's actually taken my interest. And yes, I do also know that this show had a previous show called The Vox Machina. However, out of both of the two, I definitely think that this show, The Mighty Nein, is a bit more interesting, and I just like it more. Okay, and with all of that said, in today's video I'm making this spoiler-free review to just let you all know why I'm enjoying the series so much, and why I think it's so interesting. Okay, so, The Mighty Nein. It's an action comedy adventure series with some great animation. Really, both this show and its predecessor, The Legend of the Vox Machina, had some stellar animation. And here, that trend definitely continues, as it really looks like a lot of different artists have put a lot of hard work into making this show look fantastic. This show is full of a lot of fast-paced and fluid action, which really harkens back to previous shows like Avatar, The Last Airbender, and Voltron Legendary Defender. Really, you can see a lot of influences and inspiration behind the animation, but still, when you're watching the show it does feel as if the show is carving out its own identity and style. And honestly, I just really enjoy the art direction of this series. The show doesn't feel like your standard anime wannabe show. Instead, it feels as if it's a show that understands and wants to honour its inspiration and source material, whilst also carving out its own identity. And really, what I mean by that is the fact that the show usually seems to have a good balance between using previously established strategies and putting together its own ideas. And just for example, think about your typical fantasy bar. And really what I'm sure you'll picture is something much more akin to a Lord of the Rings style old English pub. And in this show, you will get a lot of the same sort of thing. But when you see one of these settings in the show, that won't be all you get. Of course, you'll get that initial image reminiscent of the Lord of the Rings, and you'll see that as an inspiration for the show. But following that, you'll see the new and smaller details that have been added to this show to really make it its own thing. For example, you might see a gambling pair of goblins, or a wizard turning his free jug of water into rum. And honestly, it's the new ideas and the small details like those that really take these ideas and inspirations from other series and make them into something that is unique to this show. And this line of logic really applies to everything throughout the show, but my favourite aspect of it would have to be with the character designs. And really, outside of The Legend of the Vox Machina, I don't think that there are any character designs in a fantasy series like this that really look like these. Really, I think that this is a show that takes full advantage of being animated and really actually goes out there with its art direction to create new ideas and really represent characters in ways that I think are visually quite interesting. Honestly, when it comes to the character design aspects of this show, I really think that the show has a great understanding of silhouette and character. The character designs in this series really feel as if they've been informed by the characters and their stories. The silhouettes and the shapes of the characters also really reinforce the stories being told with those characters. And both of these attributes and others come together to create characters and character designs that are really interesting. To some degree, this show feels as if it's a Star Wars story, and what I mean by that is that every other detail and aspect of this show has a story behind it. Every character, setting and prop look as if they've been designed with a story in mind. And this comprehensive strategy to the show's art design brings the whole thing together in a way that really makes it stand out and be distinct from a lot of other shows like it. And now, with all of that said, I just want to briefly chat about this show's characters. Probably the biggest reason why I didn't get into The Legend of the Vox Machina in the same way that I did The Mighty Nein would have to be the show's characters. Really, in comparing both shows, I just feel as if The Mighty Nein has more interesting and unique characters. Honestly, in terms of The Legend of the Vox Machina, I feel as if each character was really fighting for screen time. And really, I didn't think that any number of those characters actually played well bouncing ideas off of one another. In the end, I didn't believe in their friendship or camaraderie, and really just felt as if the show was suggesting that these characters are together as a band just because they have to be. Whereas here, with The Mighty Nein and the episodes we've got so far, I feel as if there is a more genuine relationship building between all of these characters. And of course, I just want to keep this to being a small, spoiler-free review, so I'm not going to go too in-depth with each character. Honestly, each character in this series comes from an interesting and I think unique starting point. And really, I believe that the characters in this show have personalities and characteristics that really allow for a more natural banter to form between the characters. And I really don't want to make it sound as if I think that the Mighty Nein is just better than the Legend of the Vox Machina in every aspect, but unfortunately I think it's better in a lot of different aspects. And lastly, in terms of the characters, I just feel as if each character has a better personal story. And really, what I mean by that is that I think each character has been set up with a little bit of their own backstory, which perfectly establishes who that character is. This, I think, makes it easier to understand and connect with that character, which also being something that allows for the characters in the show to establish a good basis of a relationship with one another. And really, all of these attributes to combine to create a relationship between all of the characters that I think is stronger than that of what we got in the previous show, The Legend of the Vox Machina. However, with that said, I do have to acknowledge the fact that we are only 5 episodes into the first season run of the Mighty Nein. And so with that said, I do understand and I hope that this show chooses to take its characters and story in a direction that really adds to their ideas, their themes, and the stories behind them. I am really enjoying the Mighty Nein. I think it's an action-adventure series that really knows how to have some great fun. I've really enjoyed the first 5 episodes of this show. I've been quite interested in just how the show has set up a lot of its characters, its world, and its story. And lastly, I thought that the animation for this series so far has been phenomenal. The fast and fluid action animation of this series has really invoked old memories of me watching Avatar. And really, I can't wait to see what the rest of the show has waiting for us. But of course, this has all just been my opinion, so please, everybody, leave me a comment down below and tell me what you thought of the Mighty Nein so far. Please let me know what you thought of the characters, the story, and the animation. I really want to see just what people are thinking about this show and how it is as a show for Critical Role fans. Thank you for watching, everybody. Please don't forget to do all the usual YouTube stuff. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Goodbye.